Hey, what is going on, guys? Pineapple Sway here, and today I'm bringing you guys a Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League video, in which today I'll be giving you guys sort of my final verdict on this game. It's kind of crazy to think that this game has now been out for a little bit more than a year now. This game has been out basically for a year and a half, and I've been planning to upload this video, but just kind of haven't, just been kind of waiting because I wanted to save it to be one of my last videos I upload related to this game. But, since this game, oddly enough, is still popular on the channel and still does well, I thought I would, hey, at least upload it sooner rather than later because I didn't want to forget about it. But anyways, let's talk about it. Let's talk about basically my final verdict on this game and, whether or not, is this game really worth playing? Is it worth even bothering? Because we've seen everything online about this game. This is regarded as one of the worst games of all time, one of the worst superhero games of all time, the worst game of 2024, so on and so forth. There's so much bad about this game. Clearly, there's nothing that can be salvaged, right? Well, in my opinion, you would actually be wrong, but, that's why I'm here to talk about that today, to explain my reasoning, to give my verdict on this game, and give you guys some insight, but also understanding and giving some insight to why someone who plays this game may not like it. And that, with that being said, if you haven't played this game and you're thinking about it, or you're looking to want to play this game, this video is for you. If you've already played the game, if you've already made your mind up, then this video really isn't recommended for you. But if you're a subscriber and supporter of the channel, I still would appreciate if you watch it a little bit, since it does help me out a ton. But if you've been wanting to play Kill the Justice League for a while, I feel like I am really the best person that can explain it, because I've been uploading this game basically for the past 2 years every single day. And so yeah, let's get started on my final verdict of Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League. Okay, so let's get started. Much like a lot of people, what is my biggest problem with the game? And I would have to say the story. The story is definitely taking a step back, and it is not really to Rocksteady standard. And I think even Rocksteady knows that. And as the fans, it's very obvious. The story takes a drastic step back. So if you played the Arkham collection and you're going into this game with a sense of you're expecting a great grounded story, you're gonna get the complete opposite of that. The story realistically is all over the place, but in my opinion, the story is at least, fun in some aspects, because there are a lot of characters. You have the Suicide Squad, you have the Justice League, and you have Brainiac, you have Waller, and there's just so many, there's just a lot of DC lore. You're here in Metropolis. For myself, that was really a big point for me, was just seeing all of these characters in the game. It sucks that the story just didn't mesh well together, because I feel like there was just kind of too many eggs in the basket, if you will, for Rocksteady. They should have just kept it more level and more grounded, but they tried to expand upon it with the live service, and the live service just didn't hit home. So that's my main issue with this game. And I think going into it, if you have expectations of a great story and just a great story based game because you came from the Arkham trilogy, just lower your expectations to like 0, because the Arkham games are great story games, and we can't take that away from those games. But Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League isn't. It's not even close. It's not even in the ballpark of great stories. Honestly, when you're finished with the game, you're probably going to be more disappointed than you were. You're like, why did I even play this? And then when you play the DLCs, you're probably going to be asking yourselves the same question. So what is my point? Well, this game does have replayability, and that is through basically the game's build system, through the looter shooter system. And that's kind of what makes this game really fun. When you buy a video game, obviously you want it to have a great story, but unfortunately Suicide Squad doesn't really have that. What kind of kept me in and bringing me back season to season, and I think what a lot of people can admit, for new players, it was the new characters, the new locations, and the new weapons and gear. That's really what kept me interested in wanting to upload videos and content, because that was fun. That was really the best part of the game, was the looter shooter aspect. I think Rocksteady really nailed this part, and I would have to give them an A+. Good job. You get a gold sticker, Rocksteady. But for the story, I would have to give them an F, an F-. They just didn't really deliver with the story. Which sucks, but you know, for me it's okay, but I know for a lot of fans it's not okay. It's not good. You know, that's not what you want from especially Rocksteady Studios. You know, you want a star-studded story, and it just wasn't there. It just didn't deliver, unfortunately. But like what I said, the looter shooter aspect, the gear system, everything about that, the characters, the traversals was so much fun, and it kept me playing and playing and playing, you know, on a season basis, even though the seasons really had nothing to offer and the seasons could get boring and repetitive. I wanted to find all of the new gear, try out all the new weapons, try out the new traversals, try out the new characters, and just sort of explore the new map and the Elseworlds, and you know, defeat the Brainiacs along the way. And that was kind of my journey, and you know, I was totally okay with that. And that's why I say a lot of people too, you know, if you've played the Arkham series, but you know, you're a fan of Borderlands, or you know, Sunset Overdrive, even Destiny, I mean, you're probably going to enjoy this game, believe it or not, because the looter shooter aspect of this game, you know, people don't really like to admit it online. You know, people can say that it's bad, but it's really not. The looter shooter aspect is incredible and one of the best parts of this game, and I think it's why a lot of people even continued to play the game. If the game didn't really have as great as a looter shooter system as it did, I highly doubt anyone would still be bothering to play this game, because believe it or not, yes, people still play this game. People still, you know, watch this game on YouTube, and people still are interested in this game because, like what I said, you know, oddly enough too, you know, I keep saying that word oddly enough, but it's just, this is really, this and Gotham Knights is really the only modern day superhero games we have, and you know, that's just another thing to add. So people are going to get bored. People are going to want to try new things, and that's why, you know, people probably are looking forward to wanting to play Kill the Justice League. But back to what I was saying, with Kill the Justice League, with all of that being said, there is a certain price that I would recommend this game for everybody. If you can get the deluxe edition for less than $10, I would totally recommend it. I was one who spent $100 on this game. I ended up getting Kill the Justice League for free, but I still technically spent, you know, $100. I bought the full edition, although I did get it for free. And no, I didn't get it for free from WB or Rocksteady. I actually saved up Xbox reward points and got it for free. So before you call me a shill and say that I sold my soul to Rocksteady and WB, I didn't. Since I've had that comment a lot too, because you know, when you enjoy something that's unpopular, it tends to get you a lot of backlash, in case you guys haven't noticed. But you know, I would recommend, you know, buying this game at $5 to $10. It's been on sale for $5. I think it's on sale for $5 right now, and that's the price I would recommend it at, because the story is very weak. If this game had a great story, I would say, hey, you know, buy the game at half price, maybe even buy it at full price if you want to support the developers. But it doesn't really have anything good story-wise. Like, the best part of this game's story, I mean, is probably the beginning when Batman shows up for the Batman experience, and then maybe the Green Lantern segment, and that's really about it. The Justice League are great. They're really the stars of the show, but it's not a Justice League game, you know? So you don't really get to see it much, which is kind of unfortunate since the game is called Kill the Justice League. And yes, spoiler alert, you do end up killing the Justice League, but they're actually clones. So there's that, but that just adds more kind of fuel to the flame of the story is just kind of not good. It's not Rocksteady's best, and hopefully with their next game they can go back to being what they were in writing and making great games. And you know, there's another thing too, people like to say that this game is not good because it's DEI and woke. From what I've played, like what I said, I've played this game a ton. There's really nothing DEI and woke. I just don't really understand that concept. Truth be told, and I'm going to say this, and this could get me a lot of hate for it, it's just because, you know, Harley isn't half naked, neither are the other female characters, you know, so people think that, oh, this game is obviously DEI and woke. It's just, that's just the truth. That's just how I see it, and that's how I'm going to say it. You know, honestly, like, truth be told, you know, hey, we all miss, you know, some eye candy on the screen, but it's just kind of stupid and kind of just a lot of words I want to say, but you know, it's just kind of stupid that people kind of throw the terms of DEI and woke because, you know, characters like Deadshot being black, even though it's explained in the game's, you know, story and in the prequel comic, and then same thing with like Miss Freeze. Although I don't necessarily agree with Miss Freeze, it is what it is. I would have much rather have had Mr. Freeze, but I still don't view it as DEI and woke, and that's one segment down. But like back to what I was saying, if you've been wanting to try this game, if you've been wanting to play this game, I would honestly recommend it. And like what I said, $5 to $10. If you can find it at $5 to $10, I really recommend it. You will get a lot of time out of this game, believe it or not, if you play it. If you don't play it, then you're not going to get, your money, you're not going to get time for it. But, I'm not going to sit here and say that Rocksteady made a hidden gem. It was, sure, it could be considered a hidden gem, but it was mainly just, it could have been a lot better than what it was, and it's just unfortunate what happened, because you can see the potential of this game, but obviously it didn't come together. Something didn't click with Rocksteady and WB, and something didn't click with the fans, and it is what it is. That's all I can really say. It is what it is. But if you've been wanting to play this game, like what I said, this game is on sale because of Superman, and that's another big thing too. I think a lot of people are starting to play this game because of Superman, because Superman's in this game, and not for long, but he is a part of this story. He is a part of this game, and you are in his beautiful city of Metropolis. And sort of let's talk about a few things to sort of wrap this up of my final verdict of what are things that Suicide Squad does right and what are things it does wrong. You can agree, you can disagree. I'm not going to argue with you guys in the comments, because I get a lot of stupid comments, but I just don't reply to them because there's really no point. I'm not going to change my opinion on how I feel about this game. I like this game. I'm going to continue to play this game even though it's dead. I'm going to continue and upload and talk about this game because that's just what I do. And if you don't like it, you can go somewhere else. There's other channels you can watch, and oddly enough, I'm literally the only channel that still uploads this game on a consistent basis. But let's talk about the things this game did right. The traversals. The traversals are practically perfect. Nothing I would change about them. Sometimes they can be a little wonky, sometimes they can be a little jank, but that's really one of the best parts, if not the best part of the game. Second, the looter shooter aspect. It is incredible. And like what I said, I love the looter shooter aspect, everything about it, from collecting the gear, the iconic villain gear, the villain themed gear, everything about it is amazing. And third is the game's environment and map. They have put a lot of detail into Metropolis, and it is a ton of fun exploring the other Elseworlds, since the Elseworlds are detailed as well. And there's just a ton of stuff to explore, and it's a ton of fun seeing these new locations, these iconic DC locations. And lastly, the thing I like about this game is the characters. I love to have the Justice League. I love to have the Suicide Squad. There's just a ton of characters. It's a bit too much, but it's something that I love about this game. And, yeah, that's one thing. Those are really the main things I would say about this game that are great. And, a reason why you should consider playing it, or, just trying it out. What's not good about this game? Well, this is a live service game, and the live service of this game is absolutely abysmal. 2, the story just isn't great. I've already mentioned that. The story is just not good. You kind of just have to find out for yourself. Although I did enjoy the story, the post-launch content story was just abysmal and terrible. But I've made countless videos about why that was and how that happened and sort of why that came together. But I'm not here to defend that today, or really defend it at all. So, third, like what I said, the story was bad. And third, I would have to say, is sort of just the lack of depth for those characters. There's a lot of characters, but there's not much depth, which could be considered, a pretty big problem. Because like what I said, this game is a sequel to Batman Arkham Knight. They're not going to decanonize it. They're not going to retcon it. So it's just a lot has happened since Arkham Knight, and there really just isn't any explanation. It's just things just kind of pop up and happen. And I wish we got to see more character development between the Justice League, between Brainiac, between the Suicide Squad. It would have helped the game, I think, mesh all together, when in reality, we don't really get that, so it just feels like one big mess. And lastly, the thing I would say that I don't like about this game is probably its price and the content you get. Um, like what I said, although I do like the post-launch, gameplay, exploring the different Elseworlds, the story isn't good, and by all means, they shouldn't have sold this game for $70 and $100 for the deluxe edition. They honestly should have sold it. I think a good retail price for this game would have been $40 for the regular edition, and then $50 for the just deluxe edition, since there's also a ton of microtransactions in this game, and they're pretty decent compared to what we've seen with a lot of modern games. Not going to throw out any names, not going to be throwing any game companies under the bus, but they're also not great because microtransactions are just not something you really want in a game that you've already paid for. Free-to-play games, although I don't understand the argument, I think microtransactions are just a load of you-know-what in general, but that's another opinion for another day. Did I buy all the skins in the game? Yes, I did, because I created content for this game. Do I recommend you buy skins in this game? No, I recommend that you honestly play the offline mode, so you don't have to bother with that. You don't have to bother with the battle pass. You don't have to bother with the microtransactions. You can just simply play the game in offline mode. Although the offline mode is bad, it's kind of pointless, but not here to talk about that today. But yeah, that's really about it. My final verdict on Kill the Justice League, to wrap it all up, like what I said, I would totally recommend playing this game. If you're looking for something new that's DC and superhero related, this really could be the game for you, and you might surprise yourself and actually enjoy it. Honestly, I enjoyed this game and it was a lot of fun. I wish other people enjoyed it as much as I did, but people aren't like me, so there's that. Although I have met a ton of people through YouTube and just through, the Twitter sphere, as I like to call it, that appreciate this game and like Gotham Knights as well. Although I'm not a fan of Gotham Knights, I can totally see why that game has a fan base. Same thing with this game. Although a lot of people don't like this game, I can totally see why it has a fan base, because I'm one of them. I'm a part of it. Anyways, though, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. This is my final verdict on Suicide Squad Kill the Justice League, a game that I recommend, but you got to be a lot, or you got to be very mindful and careful when you're going into playing this game, because if you're expecting a Batman Arkham City, Batman Arkham Knight, Batman Arkham Asylum style game, you will be severely disappointed. Anyways, though, this is Pineapple Sway. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Please consider liking and subscribing. I am super close to 4,000, and I can't wait to sort of hit that and just embark on that journey with you guys of 4,000 subscribers. I plan on doing a giveaway once I hit 4K. Not sure what it'll be, but yeah. Love you guys. Peace out.